1 in every 2,000 Americans has a disease that has no known cause, doesn't have a cure, and is difficult to diagnose because of the vague and varied symptoms. The disease is sarcoidosis, and it took the life of Sean Hall's mother in 1996. Since that time, he started the Life and Breath Foundation. He joins me along with Dr. Mark Lemos, the president of the Greater Baltimore Medical Associates. Welcome to you both.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Let's explain to everyone what sarcoidosis is exactly.
Sure. It's a multi-system disease of unknown cause, just as you had said, and it's variable in its presentation. It can be the most benign of presentations with just a cough, shortness of breath. Sometimes it's even just diagnosed with a chest x-ray taken for an unknown reason. But at other times it can be life-threatening disease where you can develop renal complications, you can lose an eye. It can be absolutely devastating. And the number of people is actually probably far larger than the number that you had said. And the problem with it is diagnoses are not always made because it can be a symptom of a red eye, which has been treated with multiple different treatments, but yet sarcoidosis wasn't considered at the time of the original diagnosis. It's found more commonly in African American people and people that are Scandinavian. But again, we don't really understand the full breadth of the number of people or why it's around.
Okay, and Sean, you have a very personal story tied to this.
Correct. My mom passed away in 1996 at the age of 59 with the disease, and we think she suffered with it for 13 years. Wow. She wasn't a smoker or anything like that, so unbeknownst to the family, we lost her. And so I wanted just to find out a little bit more about the disease and why her. And so created the Life and Breath Foundation in 1998, and has really found out a lot more of how I can help patients that possibly are suffering just like she suffered, and they're doing it by themselves. So the foundation is really set to build the awareness, try to raise some research dollars and some funding, and really give the patient some diagnostic tools that they can use to interact with their physicians to coordinate their care among specialists and drugs. So hopefully to make their life a little bit more easier, help them understand how they can, take a personal direction of where their medical care is going, I guess.
Okay, and you said sometimes the symptoms are vague, the cause as well. What can people do at home just to be aware of this?
Well, it's a similar story to many things. When people's symptoms don't respond to normal treatments, someone must think outside the box to look and say, could this be something else? Because frequently that time period is where one can focus and get the diagnosis earlier to hopefully prevent complications down the road.
Would you say diagnosing it early is sort of the key in fighting it?
It's complex, and the story is many times this disease spontaneously goes away. But by finding it early in those people that severe disease is present, it's potentially life-threatening and it can be devastating. If it's bad pulmonary lung disease, graciously getting it early with the appropriate treatment can save scarring and really lifelong disability.
And why is it important, I know, Sean, to support the family members and those who are close to the person going through it?
Because the person feels, in my opinion, the person feels like they're by themselves. No one's heard of the disease, no one's really familiar with the disease. They talk to their primary care physician. They may have questions also. So it's really giving that person the sounding board to be able to communicate, hey, something's wrong, I don't feel well. And you really should have that discussion with your physician. If you need to find another physician, a specialist with where your impact area for your work, you should do that. And so that's what we're supporting is the patient and their family members to be able to have those conversations, to be able to talk further with their primary care physician.
Okay, now that we've started this organization, we've shed more light on it. What are the changes you've seen with dealing with this?
Well, the first thing is that people are asking the question, could this be sarcoid? And people that have been diagnosed with sarcoid have a better understanding that says we have to look at multiple other things, because it was just in your lungs when it was diagnosed. Did someone think about your eyes? Did someone review the ideas of your kidneys being involved? Is your arthritis associated with it? So instead of focusing on individual parts, you have to look at the whole person. It's fundamental to modern medicine to say that you have to look at more potential complications.
Okay, and finally, let's talk about the Flip Flop Foundation Festival that's coming up.
So it's a tongue twister.
Yeah.
Flip Flop Festivus
Okay.
is an event we put together. This is the 9th year for it, and if you can remember back to 2000 when the Ravens won the Super Bowl, they actually used the word Festivus and synonymous with the playoffs. So that championship Super Bowl season became Festivus Maximus. So the Flip Flop Festivus is really a resort casual, fun, festive event that we have put on. It's going to be on September 15th at the Four Seasons Hotel. We'll have dancing, music, live auction, as well as casino games. And so what we're putting together is actually a blackjack tournament. We're inviting some of the celebrities, some former athletes, to come out and join us in support of the foundation to see how much money we can raise.
So for more on the Flip Flop Festivus, it's being held on September 15th at the Four Seasons Hotel. For tickets, go to their website, lifeandbreath.org.